and Am Duel will set Daytona 500 lineup, aw.ard points but may lack past drama. Daytona Beach, Florida. The Thursday before the Daytona 500 used to be one of the most eventful days of the NASCAR season. When 50 or more racing teams headed south to Daytona International Speedway for the winter icebreaker that is the Daytona 500, some of them knew they would be going home without turning a lap in the biggest race of the season. The race field had spots for only 43 cars, now only 40, and the Thursday qualifying races, they once were 100 miles, then 125 and now 150, were the last chance for marginal teams to earn a 500 start and a decent paycheck. So the qualifying races were the definition of drama. The closing laps often were frantic and dangerous as drivers on the bubble tried to make risky passes to finish high enough to make the 500 field. This year's version of the twin qualifiers, now known as the Am Duel, is scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. Thursday, Fox Sports 1, and will set the lineup for Sunday's race behind pole winner Alex Bowman and number 2 qualifier Denny Hamlin. Bowman puts Earnhardt Jr.'s former car on Daytona 500 pole. Patrick, ready for Daytona 500, life after NASCAR. Hambry, Daytona 500 could lift drivers seeking next gear. The races are likely to be entertaining as drivers maneuver their cars and test their limits in the last competitive action prior to the 500, but the drama associated with a make-or-break run into the 500 field is over. Only 40 drivers entered the 500. So everyone will make Sunday's starting grid. That is an unfortunate scenario in some ways because it robs fans of the grand theater of watching drivers put their cars at, and sometimes over, the edge in search of Sunday money. The qualifiers aren't likely to be bland, however. Every driver likes to win at Daytona, even if it's only a foot race in the driver motorhome lot, so there will be a rush toward the finish over the closing laps. And there are seasonal points on the line. The race winners earn 10 points, second place earns 9, third receives 8, etc. Those points can be critical when viewed from the long-range perspective of the playoffs. And there is stuff to learn, even for the seasoned. We won last year in the duel, and we got 10 points, Denny Hamlin said. It's good to start the year with 10 points before the 500 even starts. I have to try to win the race. But if I find myself in a tough spot in the middle 3 wide with 3 to go, I've got to try to get out of it. It's not worth 5 points getting in a wreck and taking away our best car. Gathering points in the 150s is a good thing, but, for Hamlin and others, attempting to gain a few positions late in the race and risking an accident isn't a good trade. It's not top of mind right now, said Jimmy Johnson, when asked about chasing points in the 150s. It's more about having a good race car for the 500. So we'll be smart, for sure. Cars, Chevrolet, Ford work to catch up to dominant Toyota Hawkeye, new inspection expected to tighten up creative engineering. Hendrick, Johnson, 3 kids hope to return team to top of heap. Kyle Larson, in search of his first Daytona 500 win, said his goal Thursday night is to figure out ways to improve his Chevrolet for Sunday. The way the rules were before, we had done it for so many years that you kind of have your balance, you have your car set up the way it needs to be for you to race hard, he said. Now we have a totally new rules package for the superspeedways that we obviously didn't have a great handle on, so I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for us tomorrow night to learn a lot and to prepare ourselves for Sunday to make our car better. Kevin Harvick said putting points in the 150s changes the perspective. You want to win, he said. That's the first goal. The second goal is to gather as many points as you can to push forward into getting the season started in a good direction. You gain the most points by winning the race. When you start handing out points for a qualifying race, it doesn't matter how many cars are in the race. They want to finish as high as they can.